What's up, you guys? It's Kyle Loves You here with PokerOrg again, and I get to chat with one of my good friends, Dan Jungleman Dan Cates. How you doing, Dan?
What's up, guys? What's up?
So I usually ask Carmen San Diego this question, but where in the world are you?
I'm in Dubai right now, but not for long.
Okay, so off the back, what are you doing in Dubai?
I was here for coaching request, but I have a lot of friends here, and I envision Dubai taking a large place in the future for me. I think there's going to be quite some poker here in the future, but give it a little bit of time. And actually, that's a good thing, by the way. People have this idea. I want to sidetrack on a tangent for a second. People have this idea, oh, I want like everything right now, but actually, what you want is everything slowly and kind of unpredictably. In fact, that's a better situation emotionally than everything slowly. What I mean by that is, if like every market opens up immediately, it's actually not a good thing. You want markets to gradually open up, and currently the Asian poker market is opening up, and if markets
What it
open
looks like.
slowly, it means more longevity in poker. But anyway, yeah. So I'm doing some stuff related to that, and also I'm doing a lot of things. I'm actually learning to dance, and I'm indulging a bit right before I go to India because, so be going in the opposite direction when I go to India as of Dubai. Dubai is kind of like the indulgent capital of the world. It's like everything you can imagine.
It seems like the luxury capital of the world.
Yeah. And India is almost the opposite. At least parts of it are going to, depends on what you do, or like in many ways represents the opposite. You think of spirituality in India, etc. It's more about like austerities and meditating in caves and stuff like that.
Yeah. Um, you know, before we move on to your Latin dance career that you're currently starting, which I have a feeling has something to do with WSOP, just throwing that out there. But before we get to that, do you have any insight on the future of poker in Dubai that you could share with us with some, most of us wouldn't really understand anything foreign outside of the States or America, what's going on there? You said it's a slow grow.
Well, the market, Dubai's not quite ready for poker, etc. But I can tell you that generally, the Middle East is becoming more westernized as a byproduct of wanting to expand their economical situation. Their oil money is the oil money in many of these countries. These countries is kind of running out, and the realized, "Oh, sure, we got to do something." This is what made Dubai so rich. It was in fact that they did not have so much oil money, and the Dubai governing system decided to come up with a new plan, which was basically opening up a lot of banks and stuff so that many foreigners could come in with money and that kind of thing and view it as that kind of place. But gambling hasn't quite made it there yet. There is some poker here. It's kind of sketchy. There's some underground.
What do you think is sketchy about it?
I just heard there's lots of
Is
cheating.
it just like
There's
is this like private game, home game?
Huh? I haven't played it
Is it
all.
just like a private game, home game?
Huh?
No, I was saying, is it just like a private game, home game kind of sketchy, or is there something else to it?
Yeah, I mean I think it's illegal, and yeah, I mean there's a casino opening up in Ras Al Khaimah, which is nearby, but nothing's really legalized, and there might be some online stuff. I mean, there's plenty of Middle Eastern guys that play poker that like Israel or whatever.
From what I see in LA, it's like the melting pot of
Yeah.
poker along with Vegas. But when I'm in LA, it seems like a lot of Middle Eastern and Asian countries are playing poker. So it would make sense that eventually some regulations would change on over there. But it's good to see you involved with what we might see in the future. Maybe you never know. Macau might be, or Dubai might be the new Macau a decade from now.
It wouldn't take a decade, but possibly, I guess. There are other markets opening up that are very interesting, like Japan, etc. But yeah, we'll see. It's hard to say what will happen. Probably won't be as crazy as Macau. You never know. I actually, one second. Get too many texts. So I actually think started to view poker as a good thing because it gives people opportunity who want to do something for entertainment that are very, very wealthy, an opportunity to do so, and the poker players who are younger and hungry, an opportunity to make some money. So it actually redistributes the wealth in many ways.
Seeing your travels around Asia, you've been getting involved in different events, different businesses. What's the scoop on that? Obviously, you were just at APT. How was your experience?
APT? You mean Triton?
Or rewind. You were well,
Oh, wait. I was
before you got to Triton. Before you got to Triton, you were at APT, correct?
yeah, I was at APT briefly, but I didn't really play. I just played like a little bit of cash games. I would have done some more stuff. I was a bit sidetracked also, and the jet lag and all that caught up with me finally. But yeah, I would go to more APTs. I think I'm happy to try a lot of these tournaments. I'm open-minded in that kind of way and just try the experiences. I think it'd be nice if they put some more unique spins on them, such as just do some cool things related to the culture and like have more of a travel concierge sort of thing. Like that would make it more interesting for me rather than I have to go and figure out everything, which is often the case.
So kind of like a curated experience.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I also saw you. I sent you the meme when I first saw it, but you did this cool ass photo shoot. It looks straight like a episode of more or a cut scene from Mortal Kombat. You got stylized in Asia. Talk about that experience.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool. I was very impressed with what these guys were able to do for me. We didn't use all the pictures yet, so some more stuff should come out. I mean, I feel like I gotta like I gotta represent it a bit. I gotta learn martial arts more, but I realize it's really hard to do it while traveling. So what I'm doing is trying to learn some kind of physical practice as I travel to different places, and I will probably have to reserve time to learn these things more formally and do like a bit of a deep dive because I find that's a better way to make progress. But I do want to actually be able to be as much of a badass as they portray in the pictures.
Well, it's like from what I've learned is a lot of the Asian cultures appreciate when somebody foreign adapts and appreciates their culture. So rocking all the outfits was dope. And now I see you're involved with AA Poker. I saw you and Wesley and a few other people in Airwall on this app or platform. Tell me a little bit more about AA Poker.
Okay, so AA Poker, I kind of took a step out to trust these guys from AA Poker when most people didn't know them. And it turns out like they have quite a bit of potential. I do believe in the idea of trusting a little bit without being too naive. But they seem like they have a bright future. They seem like they're doing a lot of things in a smart way. The software looks good. They have a couple things they need to work out on that are just technical details. But yeah, I mean, it looks like they're down for making promotions in Asia, and it seems like what they would be doing will be good for poker. They have lots of ideas that seems like they'll spice things up a bit. They've even shown me a couple markets I wasn't aware of, such as one in Chengdu, where poker is there is actually a legal situation in poker in Chengdu, a city in China, 20 million people alone. So yeah, I mean, seems like there's some
the volumes there.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting. Obviously we all know that you and Airball have a funny friend relationship. You guys are always talking crap to each other. Have you played with Wesley, another ambassador for AA Poker? And, do you look forward to maybe playing him? I saw him posting about it recently.
Yeah, I played a bit with him. I'm happy to play him some more. Hopefully on some more streams. We're going to have to see how that goes down. General for most challenges.
Yeah, and I look forward to seeing it. Speaking of, you doing the martial arts and all these new challenges, I want to circle back a little bit to this Latin dance that you have been learning. How and why? Like, that's all I need to know is how did you get into it and why did you get into it?
So I'm actually doing something a little bit, focusing my effort on something a little bit different, but I do actually want to learn Latin dance for a lot of reasons. So one thing is, I don't think people expect that I can do it, which is one of the reasons why I want to try it. we'll have to wait for that to happen. Not to mention, if you have some moves, I want to have some sexy moves on the dance floor, and in general.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
So you're trying to attract somebody, maybe.
uh, just uh, well, that whole just more like I wouldn't put it like that. I would put it like put it more like communicate in that kind of way, in like a way that's positive and uh yeah, to communicate in that kind of way, like embrace that side of masculinity and be able to dance. There's apparently
Look,
such,
Dan, if you want to riz up the ladies with some Latin dance, I'm not hating on you whatsoever. You're still young, you're in great shape. You throw in some Latin dance, you're successful in poker. I mean, you could be out here just crushing it around the world, and none of us know about it.
well, relatively, yeah, I'm doing fine. Um, yeah, I'm actually thinking. Actually, one of the reasons why I wanted to go to India was to be, how do you say, not so distracted by the ladies and all that. And one thing I realized was that it's really clear that a lot of the world is putting a lot of their energy towards, or what's the word? How do I say this? Putting a lot of their energy towards entertaining their sexual desire. I believe Elon Musk said something like this. I mean, it's pretty obvious that a shitload of energy is given towards sexual desire that has nothing to do with actual reproduction or like finding a long-term partner. Both of those are quite related. Like, it makes sense to put quite a bit towards that, but presumably towards something constructive, whereas most of it's just like or towards something fun. But it could be, what I'm thinking to myself is, okay, well, there's nothing wrong with the fun aspect in general, but if we're trying to like optimize towards like a career or whatever, or work towards a career or something like that, then you want to not be too entertained by being a bit of a fuckboy or whatever it is. And
So you're telling me Dan's out here trying to find love and have some jungle babies, you know what I mean? Have some little mini jungle men.
I would not go that far, but rather what I'm saying is that I would like to not be so as distracted by things and focus more of my energy on my career. And if I put or redirect to the way that I'm doing things with in that area, especially towards just basically towards more things that tend to be more constructive. Whereas there's all kinds of ways to casually date, right? But at the end of the day, there's also a moral argument for it too, which I can get into it in a second. But there's all kinds of ways to casually date. But if you think about it, that's like you're kind of basically just having your end goal of having loads of fun, unless you're trying to find like a relationship or whatever. And the moral argument is that if the guys who have some kinds of optionality exercise it as much as they can, it actually hurts the I want to use the word sexual environment, like something like that. It like works the same as environment, as if you pollute the environment, you pollute the you make it harder for worse for everyone. And I realize like it's hard for me to ignore that it can make things more difficult overall. And I personally believe in doing things that are generally positive. So I'm
Yeah,
thinking,
I mean, there's nothing wrong with being productive. I mean, I'm settled down now. I used to tour DJ, I've dated, but I've found the better me in my better half now. And there's nothing wrong with I think you identifying there's a time to do fuckboy shit and there's a time to like buckle down and stay focused. Dan, do you think that casual dating would be considered a leak for you in poker or for most people, or like
well,
how do you identify with it?
I would say it's a leak for most people, for sure. My view on that is has multiple layers to it. But yes, basically a leak. Like it's the same thing as if your energy is going. The biggest thing is if your energy is going somewhere else, it's not going towards something that's focused on your career, right? I mean, this is just an overarching thing, and this is the reason why promiscuity was an issue in many countries and in history. If you look back at history, there's a decent amount of history on this. It's just basically distracting in a different way. It's really that simple. So yes, that ultimately converts to being elite in poker, right? You could be using your time studying, but instead you're out there grinding some dating app, which nowadays is like a time, it's like full time job almost sometimes. And
I mean, it takes
I just
energy. I mean, it takes a
out.
lot of
Well,
effort.
what?
You know, dating and doing all that stuff does take a lot of focus and energy. But
What's that?
yeah, no, my buddy Fredo once told me this. He goes, you know, your career is important, but he won't ever hug you or love you back. And you know, that's a balance of life that is hard to maneuver. But you got to be able to be productive and feel emotionally whole.
Sure.
And how people feel those emotional needs, like you said,
Yeah.
it differs for everybody.
Yeah. So you make a very valid point. I mean, it's an important thing. I'll have to get to that stuff a bit later, but I had some ideas around that. I mean, dancing actually is one of the ways you bypass all that bullshit if you are a good dancer. And there's lots of like
I
benefits
That's
too.
true.
Uh, I
It,
still want to
the
embrace my
same as poker.
huh?
Hey, just not saying same as poker. If you're good at it, you don't have to spend as much time at the table. You know what I mean? But if you're really good at dancing, you don't have to spend that much time at the bars looking to meet somebody. Somebody's gonna find you. But yeah, no, your DJ stuff would be awesome to still see you get into that. You know, I'm still always happy to teach you.
All right. Well, I'm down to learn. They go a bit of hand in hand, I would say. And what was I going to say? We're about the casual dating stuff. My view is that I do think that probably if people have that desire in them, that they should explore it to a degree that it's not too hurtful towards. It's a complicated thing because there is such a thing as being too crazy. Um, but it appears like it appears as though people should explore their what they really they're just gonna do anyway. This is kind of what's going on at large if you think about it. I mean, basically, you remove the. It's like people are essentially growing up into. It's like the world's essentially becoming adolescent, and now has to learn how to figure out its own shit. And
Yeah, everything in moderation. You know what I mean? As long as you can moderate it, you should be fine.
good luck with that. We're yeah.
Yeah. And then more in the latest things you've been doing outside of dancing and dating and going to Asia, you were in Triton. Obviously a lot of your fans and a lot of the poker people are always tuned into that. How was your experience at Triton?
Triton's always really good. In fact, they had the biggest turnout ever. I realized, oh shit, I need to focus more on Triton. I'll luckily play a few more tournaments, but I think they take a lot of time. Yeah, Triton's growing really big. It's really promising. Poker seems like it's growing worldwide. They've been launching some smaller tournaments too, so probably people should pay attention to that stuff. In addition, I want to mention I'm doing more things as well. I'm launching a poker business. The aim of the poker business and the aim of my poker career, the main focus shortly, is to help the poker economy at large and help people to become generally more successful in it. In particular, the goal that I have for everyone is for people to become financially free and ideally orient them in a positive direction. I do not want to teach or help people that will become financially free and then use their freedom to do deconstructive things. But that is the vision that I have for the poker community that I'm launching, and it will not just be we'll focusing on technical skills, but I feel like there's loads of content on that, but we'll also be focusing on the softer skills that lead to wealth and success that are often overlooked in place of like just being good at poker. So that's
are we talking are we talking like bankroll management? Are we talking
yes.
about lifestyle choices, those type of things?
Those things, but also focusing on getting in the games that you want to play. That's a big one. Also doing something to make yourself stand out if you're trying to stand out in that kind of way. And how you maximize your profit, like that kind of stuff. And how you continue to have success as well, which I think is overlooked. And that's one of the things that made me successful was I did not stop like expanding my skill set so that I had more and more opportunities to the point where they were ballooning.
Okay, no, dope. Does this business have a name? Can we drop the
It's gonna be
premiere of
called.
that, or is
It's
it
gonna be
on
called.
development?
It's gonna be called the Jungle. It's not ready for release yet, but it's gonna be ready really soon. And the theme of the idea is to get people to help to work together. There's a bunch of features that I want to add in it, but one thing at a time. One thing, I want to create a bit of a jobs market within it, so that now, if you're a struggling online player, you can work with experience for players that already exist. You can work in ways for people that are more successful, and that you also could just make some money. That's easy to make money that way, like an internship type of thing, but now it's for poker. But I'm trying to think of ways that will rebalance the poker economy so that there is more of a flowing distribution of wealth within there. And I believe that this will help the economy at large in the world. So that's one of the features. I'm also creating a feature where we be a bit of an outline of what's going on in the poker landscape, which I don't think has ever been done, as someone who's been around in it. At some point, I'll create a newsletter, but we have to wait for that. Writing is one of my strong suits, so I feel like I should use that to my advantage, and also to reach the people that have the power to do something in poker, and influence them, because apparently writing is like the way of doing that. Been inspired by Thoreau, Henry Thoreau. That's how many of the people in history, in fact, were able to affect change. We'll see how these
Yeah,
things go. I got too many fucking things.
yeah. One of the things you've been doing is your Discord. I don't read a whole lot of books anymore since I've left college, but I do enjoy your Discord community because it's very community based, and you're always in there engaging your fans. Is that like, would you say like the modern take of you contributing to a book but daily?
Well, it's the So here's the thing: books will only take you so far, and the big issue with books, and this is like a hidden thing not stated in how education works, but when you read a book, it's kind of just like an information dump onto you, like a bunch of like information on paper. And I used to think, by the way, that you could just convert this to knowledge or whatever, but I don't think it works that way. But I think that actually is a much better way of approaching education in general is a more interactive approach, where someone's being worked with gradually as they go along, and the information's like given to them in little pieces. That's good. And this happens a bit more naturally through community, because now they can communicate with someone else, or can communicate with you, or they have they can see a seminar where now there's homework and all that. We're organizing all these, the whole education plan. This is another thing I need to work on. But I have seminars are getting pretty legit now. And but yeah, by doing this, it's a whole education process for myself as well, to learn how to do this a really good way. But yeah, if you give people little pieces and slowly implement it into their life, it's a much better experience than say, oh, go read that book and now go do something. Because to do that, you're the one responsible for creating that interactive process and implementing it, which is a whole new skill set in itself, versus teaching someone more hands-on, and creating the pathway, or like kind of guiding them along the pathway so that they slowly challenge smart ways. So
Yeah, create the curriculum and then
yeah,
steer the course.
Yeah, that's roughly. It should be like a loose steering of sorts.
Okay, dope. It's always good to see you working on something you're passionate about. Something everybody in life that wants to achieve is find purpose and passion, combine them, have it make a living for yourself, and obviously you want to help others make a living as well through this poker medium. So yeah, you went to Triton. That was in the latest. Now we're coming up on the summer. It's 2024. The WSOP is about to kick off. How are you getting prepared, and what are your thoughts leading up to this?
You know what? I probably should get prepared a bit. I don't know if I'm going to find the time, really. But I do had someone to give me the idea to create a map of what to do for create an idea for a map for what to do for this 50K challenge if I was going to try to win it again, which I am. So I could work on that, and I think there's a smart way of doing that. without going into every crevice. So there's that. Yeah, I should be around for World Series. I'm actually taking a little trip to Tibet and Nepal before then, because apparently some friends are doing that. Apparently that's the time. And yeah, we'll see what happens after that stuff. I'll just be mostly working my ass off during the summer. And that's the rough plan.
Well, that is one way to prepare. Go to Tibet. You know what I mean? Get Zen. And what else you got going on? Recently just announced the WSOP is coming back to LA at the Commerce Casino. I'm not sure if you caught that.
What is
It's been a long time since WSOPC over at Commerce World Series is
I just
having an
stuff that,
event.
in LA. Yeah, I'll be in there quite a bit.
Well, you always could come out to Valleys, and I'll see you on the show. We launched the show there. We're excited to have you there. I can't wait to commentate you playing on those streams.
Yeah, we need to get the DJ stuff down.
I'll bring it. It's not like Vegas. I have all the equipment here in LA, so I'll bring it to the Commerce. You come play on the stream. I'll give you some lessons.
All right. That would be good. Maybe we could do some DJing for that. I yeah, need to feel more as a DJ. Need to get embrace DJ. DJing itself was not that hard when I was practicing it, because it combined, it's like a video game and music, and I am actually talented at both. So
Now to make the correlations, because I went from DJing to poker, right? And it was a similar adrenaline rush I felt while performing, but the technical side of DJing may not be as difficult as it comes off. But it's like what you were talking about earlier with poker. You can't just be good at the game. There's so many other things and variables that go into having, not just only the skill set, but being successful as a DJ. That go into, but I don't see Jungleman trying to start, headlining EDC or dropping, singles. But the act of it's like recreational poker. Like when you just like to go out and play and not stress it so much, it's a very enjoyable hobby.
right. Okay, well, I'll try it. I'll see where it takes me. Why not? I could see myself potentially liking it. I mean, I like the idea of moving a crowd. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Much easier to do when you're DJing, I would think, than some other ways, or at least
Well, there's a difference. When I was DJing, I do concerts, and I would tell people, like, let me see your hands. Hey, let me put your hands up. And then now I'm playing poker. I'll say, if I call you on the river, let me see your hand. You know what I mean? There's this, it goes back and forth, but, getting that reception from the crowd when you're playing is one of the highlights of it. But I always just recommend, if you do what you love in life, you're going to be on the right path. So we will see you out at WSOP. I know you and Helmut did the entrance last year. I'm excited to see what characters, Terminator last year. That was very interesting. I'm pretty sure when you're in Nepal, you might have some ideas. And
I have plenty of we look to put them into place. It would be really nice if I could find someone that is an expert in putting on a show, in the sense of becoming a character and putting it on, or putting on the improv show or whatever it is. I kind of have it, but not really something
dialed in.
Precisely. Whereas it's very difficult for me to. But the good thing is the bar is really low. Because
I mean, you killed it last year. Don't sell yourself short. But maybe if somebody's watching this, you want to help out Jungleman, reach out to him. He's looking for somebody who's an expert in this field.
Sure.
One of the things I wanted to ask you about a few weeks ago, there was a lot of story headlines with Tom Dwan, and you were on Twitter talking often about people who owe money and who don't end up paying up should be exposed and all this. And then out of nowhere, I see you post a picture with Tom Dwan.
Okay. So
is the beef squashed, or what? Elaborate on what happened there.
So, yeah, this is a really good point, because you bring up something that seems to contradict what my behavior towards Tom might entail. So, it's been a complicated thing, but there's a few things. So first of all, let's start with these debts. The debts should not be just erased. It's not good if people don't pay the debts. So people need to pay their fucking debts. However, so there's some other things. To deal with people paying debts, what you need to do is be it looks like what's optimal is to be firm and making them pay, and find creative ways to make them pay if they can't pay with money, which I don't think people have really explored that much, which is something I've explored. And sometimes it works really well, matter of fact. And a lot of these people who have issues with debts, most of the time they want to pay, they just can't pay because of their life situations. And yes, it can be, it often is a byproduct of their shitty decisions, which are difficult to help. That being said, in my experience, people have many different assets that aren't necessarily, but could be correlated to money, that are worth expounding on in these situations. And what's the fucking difference if they pay in one way or another way, if that makes sense? And going into that, I personally have been very guilty of getting too angry with people who have owed me money. And I see this all the time where people have a really vindictive attitude, and all of that I think is not good. The anger can be good, but it's a bit tricky. Yeah, the anger is a little bit tricky, I think, but most of the time it's bad. And regarding Tom, I at some point, basically, I could see that Tom wants to pay, essentially, and she's helping in a few different ways. And actually, at some point I realized, I was actually lucky with how things went down, and I just changed my view. And I got to this point of like starting to feel compassionate for him and thinking, well, the only thing that makes sense is for me to try to help him, because if I just keep attacking him, what's the point? It's like beating up someone who's like, got some issues. It's just like kicking like someone who's got like a broken leg or something. Like, what the fuck are you doing? So yeah, I realized, okay, well, it makes sense to try to help them in these spots. And I don't think people really think through those actions too much when they're doing them. They just have, oh, I'm angry, I'm gonna like go crazy.
Yeah.
Right now I don't feel any animosity towards them. Actually, it's, yeah, I guess you could say it's all love. And that part is certainly squashed. He's been trying to help me, and the debt's kind of getting close to resolved thanks to the help of someone else. This guy Vivek, who's been assisting with the main part of the debt through his hard vouch, and he's honoring that, which is really nice of him, actually. And yeah, it looks like things will be resolved in some kind of way. I think Tom understands it's been super difficult and is trying to make things right. I can kind of see how he in the past was reluctant to assist people or get back to people when, I mean, this I do understand a little bit, that if you do something wrong and someone like blows it out of proportion, it's harder to want to make things right in general, because I had a taste of that myself. It's like someone's trying to like come at your throat or something, with it's nowhere near that. It can make things complicated, or make things where the other person becomes kind of the bad guy. That's one of the downsides of vengeance. So yeah, things with Tom seem to be more promising anyway. I mean, I think there's, his situation's complicated, but hopefully that resolves itself.
Okay, dope. So it's all love. Somebody's hard vouch, which, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, Dan. I don't know exactly what hard vouch means. You could divulge more if you would.
He doesn't pay.
Okay, so there's not like a timeline. It's just you guys are on good terms. He's trying to help you. You're also trying to work with him. When it happens, it happens. There's no going on Twitter going crazy.
Well, yeah, when it happens, but it's supposed to happen on time, or it's not fair. Remember, we need to be firm with how things are supposed to work, which I need to emphasize. We just don't need to be overly vindictive or overly attackative in situations where it doesn't produce any good.
Okay, I feel like it's a very mature way to put it, and I think you're at a very mature part of your life today that you can handle it in this matter. Maybe you rewind time a little bit, you might have not have, but you're identifying that, and that's good. I look definitely forward to seeing you when you get back from your travels. We look forward to seeing you this summer, obviously with the tournaments playing. Hopefully, I see you in LA first before summer gets here. Starts May 10th. Just throwing that out there. If you need to know the dates, you can always hit me up. Dan, I thank you so much for your time. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the community and PokerOrg fans?
I'm gonna go to the gym, guys. We'll take it from there.
Yeah, I just started my gym journey and my fitness journey. I'm getting there. I'm starting slow. And do you have any advice?
Start slow and keep building. It gets easier.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to like be Bill Perkins in this situation and throw any like proposition bets.
I could give you like a small one, yeah. Like I can't give like, I don't know, something like $1,000 or $2,000 or something for like a bet.
No, I'm totally all ears. Like, what's the challenge here though? Because I don't even know. Like, I don't have a fat loss percentage, or I just want my pants to fit. Like, I got some pants that are tight currently. I've been gaining weight, and I want them to fit like they used to.
I need to get to the gym right now, but we can work out something where we can try this, where I give you like a small bet or something that is money that matters to you a little bit. And if you get there, if you don't get there, you can pay. You have to pay. If you do get there, I pay you. We did something.
I'm totally okay with that.
Those guys.
That seems like great motivation. I mean, it worked for Sean Deeb. Hopefully, it works for me. Well, I'll let you get to the gym.
I don't have $1 million, spare $1 million to like risk for like.
Yeah, we'll move some commas around. We can move some commas around.
Also, I'm not going to advocate taking steroids as well or whatever he took. Like apparently that was allowed. That makes it.
You're telling me Sean took steroids?
It really I don't know, actually, to be honest. I don't know, but it certainly seemed like it. But yeah, that's just pure rumors at this point. I think.
Well, that's something that we can follow up on in the future. I won't hold you up. I know you want to get your natural workout on, and it's.
I got to go to the gym. I don't like the idea of replacing my natural hormones and like my balls shrinking and all that stuff. No, thank you. At least unless it's reversible, maybe. I gotta go, Kiro, but it's been great.
Thank you, guys. It's Kyra Loves You here with Jungleman. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and follow more on PokerOrg. Follow Dan at the Dan Cates on Instagram. Follow me at Kyra Loves You. And we'll talk to you guys soon.